Why can't we just press the button and we magically get paid? Why can't we do that with DME?
There's a lot of things that we have to consider. I hope that it's as easy as clicking the confirm button, but it's not.
Good afternoon. I should say good day, depending on the
Good
time.
morning.
Good afternoon. Good morning. Welcome to the Offsite Team Member Podcast. I'm here with my good friend April, and the two of us, we understand the challenges faced by DME, durable medical equipment business leaders in their quest to find dependable and affordable employees who also know how to use Brightree. So the two of us, we've created a revolutionary workforce solution that resolves this problem, enabling DME businesses to thrive with a reliable and cost-effective team. And with that team today, we're talking about billing confirming, correct? Is that kind of what
Yes.
we're doing?
Yes, that
And
is right.
from like I was joking about last week on last week's podcast, sometimes I'm like, why can't we just press the button and we magically get paid? Why can't we do that, April? My father-in-law, who owns our business, he's a pharmacist, and that's how things work in the pharmacy world. You literally press a button and you magically get paid. Why can't we do that with DME?
Right. Well, technically, since we're talking about confirmation, billing confirmation,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of things that we have to consider. So I hope that it's as easy as clicking the confirm button in a sales order in Brightree, but it's not.
Yeah.
So
And so all of us, we use Brightree. Everyone on Offsite team has been trained in Brightree. So what is the process of confirming a sales order in Brightree, whether it be a wheelchair, oxygen concentrator, CPAP, cane, walker? I mean, what's the process that we need to do on the back end?
So first thing is you have to check whether the documentations are in there, the complete documentation.
Mm-hmm.
So first and foremost, everyone needs to take ownership. The documentation team members needs to make sure that we have the complete documentation, which we upload in one data. We called it claim audit. So
Mm-hmm.
everything should be there. And then the confirmation will check those documents, making sure that the items listed on the sales order matches the documentations that we have from the clinical requirements up to the diagnosis. And we also need to check the insurance, whether or not we are billing the correct insurance, plus the percentage that we have to bill them, because we want to make sure that we're billing them accurately. And then after that, we need to make sure that the correct modifiers are in there. The modifiers, by the way, for those who doesn't know, these are the this indicate what service are we
Mm-hmm.
billing the
So
insurance
if it's a
for.
right side brace or a left side brace, this would be the RT
Mhm.
or the LT
Correct.
modifier, rental
Hmm.
item, RR. It's new NU,
Purchase.
KU,
Right.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
There's
I
a
was I was
lot.
getting. I am not a confirmer. I just know there are modifiers, and
Mhm.
if you put the wrong modifier, what happens if we put the wrong modifier on, April?
Unfortunately, the claim will be denied just because of the wrong modifiers.
Oh,
So we
don't
want
you
to make
hate
sure
that?
that, yes, we have to do that properly.
And
So,
the nice thing with our offsite team, you guys are working the backside for us.
mhm,
So as we're working on everything, hopefully we get everything to you in a perfect way where literally all you have to do is just throw a few modifiers on, hit
mhm,
confirm, and magically money shows up in our bank account. Let's say something's missing. What do you
mhm.
do? How do you help us out if something's missing?
Are we talking about once it's get confirmed already?
Well, let's
Once
say
the
either
thing.
before the confirming
Oh, okay.
process or after it's confirmed. What do we do?
I'll start with before we confirm.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm the confirmer, as I've mentioned earlier, everyone in the team, all the team members knows how to take ownership. So since this is the part that the documentation team member should be doing, then before the ball gets rolled on my side, I need to make sure that everything is in there. But if not, we do have a way to give an error to the documentation team
Mm-hmm.
member and
And
then
we've built
whip
all these out,
back.
and we've built
Mhm.
these out in Brightree, which I like. So I'm like, well, why are you
Yes.
giving an error? Well, it's kind of like a scorecard. If
Hmm.
certain CSRs get an error, it's not to get them in trouble, but it lets us
Correct.
know I need to go train Caesar, or I need to
Mhm.
go train Shannon, or whoever is next. Hey, you forgot this one area.
Mhm.
So what you do is we utilize the special, what's it called in Brightree, special codes or special, what's that
It's
called?
a whip state.
So we
So there is
utilize
a
the whip state in Brightree.
mhm,
Mm-hmm.
yes. And then there's also this custom
Custom
area.
fields. Yeah.
Yes, custom
Mm-hmm.
fields in Brightree that we do put in the name of the team member
Mm-hmm.
who did the documentation, and then it's actually, I would say, it's an area for us to improve. So basically, it's not to pinpoint anyone. It's more of us in terms of helping us in improving the procedures.
Yeah.
So in the future, they will no longer forget it,
Yeah.
right?
And in what I've seen, at least on the reports, is most team members, they never make this, they tend to not make the same mistake twice.
Hmm.
So this is the beauty of custom fields and kind of how we've set it up in Brightree. Is it kind of like you might have this one area improvement, well then we
Hmm.
know we're going to go coach Shannon in that one area, whereas
Correct.
Steven over here on this side, he makes other mistakes. Well, an error is
Hmm.
not necessarily an error because there's different things that we can do differently. And the same
Yes.
thing with the confirming side of things. So your goal is to make sure everything's in the file so we can hit the confirm button. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. Hmm.
And but let's say what might be something that we're missing, and how would our offsite team resolve that?
So if it gets denied, we're talking about after hitting the confirm button, we do have another team member who's handling the denials that we get from the
I
insurance,
hate
which is
denials.
yes, I know everyone hates it. But what's good about us is that we do have the offsite team. So it's not the onsite or the team members in the US who needs to do the extensive work trying to figure out what's the error on this one, because sometimes we get denial for certain information, but when we do the research, one of the offsite team did the research. Upon digging, we figured that, oh, that is not the right error. They're denying because we forgot to put the modifiers. So we have the offset team members to do that. And if we're missing documentation, we can also reach out to the doctor's office without the on-site team members trying to figure out what to do next. They can just focus on the patients that or the customers that they're dealing in store.
And one of the things I've noticed on the billing side of things is insurance companies will change what they're auditing and what they're
Hmm.
denying almost on a month to month basis. I want to
Yes.
just pull my hair out. So we might be doing everything perfect. Everything's
Hmm.
getting paid. And then all of a sudden, bam, it stops being paid because
Right.
someone on the back end of a third party insurance says, nope, we have a different modifier now.
Hmm.
Oh, now we're going to audit all of these guys. And so, what's vitally important, there's very little we can do with the insurance companies. We've got to monitor those claims as fast as
Correct.
possible. We cannot
Hmm.
wait for denial and then wait 3 months to then appeal it because it might be
Hmm.
past timely filing. Some insurances you have to appeal within 3 months. We need to find out immediately and then start working the
Hmm.
claim, don't we?
Yes, that is correct.
And so the advantage is sometimes we will submit it again with the proper modifier, or we don't know. So
Hmm.
if we don't know why it was denied, what do we do, April?
So if we don't know why it was denied, usually they send what we do is we call the insurance itself. So we talk to them, and then after talking to them, we also talk to AccuServe, going back and
Yeah,
forth. So
because
there's a
we
lot of
utilize AccuServe,
communications.
and they have their
Yes.
reports that they use
Hmm.
are amazing. So this is the
Correct.
confirming side on our side before we send it over to AccuServe for them to run their
Hmm.
back end stuff.
Yes. So once we figure out, then what we do is whether it's documentation or whether it's a modifier, we do have the process that we do. Like if it's a modifier, then if it's already confirmed, we just have to recreate the order again. So,
Yeah.
it's
And
definitely
sometimes
easy
and
with,
sometimes it's that simple. You guys
mhm,
just recreate the order. We don't even have to worry about it.
yes.
You guys do it yourselves, and I would just know because it looks differently in Brightree. Oh,
Mhm.
order reconfirmed, and this is what it is.
And since we're talking about the timely filing, what's good about having an offsite team member in the Philippines is that, like in the US, the team members are up until 6 p.m., I would say. So if a claim gets denied, team members can work on the documentation and then resubmit. We can just ask AccuServe resubmit the claim at 10 in the evening. So when they come 8 a.m., they can just,
It's
send it right
wonderful.
away.
And Brightree, for those of us listening, they do have limits on how many logins you can have at a
Mhm.
specific time. So what we do is, for example, you work until 10 o'clock Pacific Standard
Yes.
Time, which is what time in Manila?
1 p.m., 1 in the
So yeah, so
afternoon.
you work until 1 in the afternoon. You're like, this is great.
Yes.
I'm getting off at 1 in the afternoon. But for us, it's nice because you're working after we've gone to bed.
Mhm.
So we're more
Yes.
utilizing all of the logins that Brightree gives us, because we only pay for so many logins, and then they stop letting us in. So that's some of what it allows you. So you're not always working the graveyard shift. You work 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we have other people who start earlier, and we've utilized it to fully take advantage of how Brightree uses their logins. And it's just kind of a little, we'll call it a spidey secret that we've kind of figured out how to do.
Efficiency.
So, yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot more in terms of documentation and confirming and how we do this, but, April and I, this is how the Offsite team works. April and I, we come together, and what we've done is we've streamlined the recruitment process for Offsite team members. We will, we figure out, okay, who are we going to hire? We interview the candidates. We take all of that off your shoulders. So when they get placed onto your team, they're ready to rock and roll. They've already been trained. You don't have to do that. And then what we do is we, from this talent pool, and we'll basically match make it between Offsite team and your company. You tell us, do you have a rehab focus? Do you have a respiratory focus? Do you just need someone to answer phones and kind of help the back end side of things? And then what we will do is then once they're placed, we're also going to help coach you in terms of, hey, here's some ongoing support and monitoring. Our commitment just doesn't happen once these team members are placed. We're going to continue to train them. And like, for example, on a given week, how many team members do you train a week, April? Was it like 10, 15?
10, 15, you name it. There's always coaching.
Yeah, there's always coaching. So what you're doing is you're going behind the scenes as kind of a quality improvement. Say, hey, I notice here's where your errors, and here are some ways of fine-tuning those errors, because every claim that gets denied is money that's not going into Howard's bank account, and money that the insurance company gets to keep, or that's not fun for anyone, is it?
Yes.
Okay, well, good. Well, hey, if you are interested in hiring an Offsite team member, go ahead and just reach out to me. Send me a quick email and reach out to us at offsiteteammember.com. But in the meantime, April, what's our podcast on next week?
That would be life in the Philippines. How is it living in the Philippines?
Right on. So we're going to talk about life, and it's different than it is here right now. For better and worse. For better and worse. Well, good. But until next week, hey, thank you so much, April.
Thanks. Have a good day.